In this one, I'm actually really excited. I don't know what is with me and Georgian fighters, but maybe it's the giga effect. But, Roman Dolidze, let's talk with him for a quick bit. I think the gas tank is the big question here. We saw him against the John Allen fight. That John Allen fight was one where we just saw two guys kind of, get tired. Dolidze likes to throw these looping shots, and he's a good jiu-jitsu fighter. So we talk about these guys with crazy power, but the jiu-jitsu skill, cough, cough, Gilbert Burns. But, that is a fairly new trend. A lot of these guys know that they need to kind of finish in a big way. And now you can submit people. Now you can probably punch people out. So one thing about him also, it's like you look at the Kadis Ibrahimov. He's an undefeated fighter, but even his two UFC fights are against, borderline UFC competition. Kadis Ibrahimov came out of M1, he's sadly become a UFC punching bag of sorts because he's not won in the UFC, and all four of the guys that he's lost to are kind of taking the next steps in their career. When you look at Trevin Giles, his 2020 was pretty good, right? The split decision win over James Krause, then the Bevin Lewis fight immediately, after that, towards the end of the year. I thought that was a great fight where he kind of showcased his ability to kind of go the 3 rounds and still kind of maintain some of that power, some of that skill that is letting you finish fights in the 3rd round. I think the James Krause fight was a bit closer than he probably wanted. And, I think he still was able to showcase like the wrestling aspect of things. And that's where this fight is his fight to lose, in my opinion. I think that he should be able to deal with the striking. He's 100% going to win the gas tank battle there. I think he's just 100%, going to be the more active fighter come the 3rd round. And he's also not going to be throwing these crazy looping shots in the first. So going back to Dolidze, maintaining some of that energy and kind of carrying it effectively throughout the 3 rounds is probably the biggest thing you can change, right? I think that in some of the fights where he should have maybe even been a bit more dominant, he wasn't because of factors like that. So when you think about it, this is such a closely related fight. A lot of people are peeking Dolidze off the name and how amazing he's looked against the competition he's faced. But, Trevin Giles has faced some of the bigger names in this division. And with the first weight cut down to middleweight and all that stuff, Roman Dolidze has been having some issues. And as much as I want to lean the Roman Dolidze, as I always do with these Georgian fighters for some reason, Trevin Giles gives you a lot of reasons to believe he can get this job done. And I'm just kind of putting that out there very black and white because when you look at this fight on paper, I really believe it's more of a coin flip than they're letting you believe. And Trevin Giles has all of the skills to win this fight. And I think if it goes deep, that's where he's going to be able to execute. So avoiding big power shots, avoiding any submissions early, that's really the ticket for maybe his victory. But on the flip side, Roman Dolidze, take it easy. Don't go crazy. Feel it, the fighter. You might have really good grappling and can maybe get this to the ground later in the fight if maybe you have the energy to start putting on some of your own pressure. But that's all going to come with conserving energy, picking your shots, and not throwing such looping shots if they're just kind of, falling in dead air kind of thing. But another amazing fight that we're going to look forward to. I think we're going to see a lot of the MMA battle come into play there, and I cannot wait.